Hi, I'm Norm Kern, and I'd like to welcome you to Access MC, Access to Motorcycling. We're coming to you from the American Motorcyclist Association Heritage Museum in Westerville, Ohio. This unique museum was built to document and preserve motorcycling's proud history. This time we're going back to Oregonia, Ohio for the annual Devil's Staircase Pro Hillclimb. Since this is the last hillclimb event of the season and competition is tough, we'll get to see the championship in both classes decided. Bob Moore is with us once again, so we'll get to meet the riders and see all the exciting action.
Here we are at the Fritz Powell Farm down in southwestern Ohio, just outside Oregonia, for the 44th running of the Devil's Staircase Professional Hill Climb. The crowd is here. It's a pretty nice day. It's slightly overcast. We've had some rain in the area, but all in all, it's turned out to be a pretty good day. The competition was really fierce going into today's climb. In the 500 class, Tim Frazier from Lancaster, Pennsylvania is comfortably sitting on top of the point standings with 103 points. He's not really secure in the championship run, but he's far ahead of Paul Pinsonot, who has 90 points. Tim Wilkins has really come on strong in the latter part of the season, and with this last climb of the year, he's comfortably in third place. No chance to win the championship, but he's still doing real well with 70 points. In the 800 class, though, it's an entirely different story. Tommy Reiser, who last won his national championship way back in 1964, leads the 800 class point standings going into today's climb. He has 81 points, but right behind him is Wade Williams out of Canada with 78 points. Behind him is his brother Greg Williams with 74 points. Running in fourth spot is Harry Schreiber with 69 points. And still with the shot at the title is Louis Garanser Sr. with 67 points. So as you can see, today's competition is really going to make a good championship run because it is really going to be loaded for all the excitement that professional hill climbing has to offer. If you've never been to one, it's strictly a neat way to spend a Sunday afternoon because I'll tell you, these guys are really, really serious about what they do. Okay, we're here at the 44th running of the Devil's Staircase Hill Climb. Tommy, you're an old-time veteran here. When did you start running this thing?
Well, my first climb here was 1957. I think that takes care of the age. In 1957, we didn't have a track. We had just what it looks like right over here on the hill, the grass, and whatever you get is what we got to compete on. So it was a completely different climb, but 1957 was my first year.
And Tommy, you've been running hard ever since, and you've won the championship at least one time I know of, right?
Well, it was a long time ago. I took off in 1965. I competed heavily up till 65, and then I quit and went into some drag racing. We did a complete series of drag racing. In fact, we ended up being world champion. And then I ended up going in business, getting married, and having the kids, the same scenario that everybody has to go through. So from that point on, I got back in about 1979 when they introduced the open gas class. So that's what brought me back.
Tommy Reiser, a fantastic competitor. The crowd's here. We're waiting on the first rider to get into the pits. They're going to start off with the 500 action. And by the luck of the draw, it's the reigning champion from Lancaster, Ohio, Tim Frazier. Now, like I said, Tim was sitting on top of the pile very comfortably with a 13-point lead. All he needs is a good, solid ride, and he's got the championship iced down. But nothing's sacred in the sport of professional hill climbing, and with the track being as muddy as it was, Timmy had a very first rough day. He's out of shape, off the track. He just couldn't get it back, and according to the rules of competition, where he first left the boundaries, that's his official climb, and he ended up with a climb of 210 foot. Tim hurt himself a little bit there. He took his handlebar right in the middle of the solar plexus, and he's kind of concerned. He's kind of feeling kind of bad, and he knows that his championship's on the line with that bad climb, so things aren't going too well. Now this is Roger McNeely on a Yamaha. Roger had a pretty good climb on his first time. This is his fastest of the two, and he turned an 8.665, and Roger ended up in 8th place in today's competition. Rolling in against the line here now, this is David Duncan. David's fairly new at the sport. He's still learning, but he's coming on pretty strong. Down on horsepower. And it's a two-cycle, as you can tell from the sound of it. Good for only 10.416. Now we have Randall Dillon blasting up the hill also on another two-stroke. they're just down on par. And I tell you, with the track being heavy like that, 11.246 is the best he could do. Now this is Bill Apicella. Now Bill's a good old hill climber from way back. He's got a lot of experience out of Annapolis, Maryland. Bill in the 8-second bracket turns at 8.995, which got him 14th place on that Kawasaki. Now this is Ralph Krieger. Ralph's an old timer out of Red Lion, Pennsylvania, riding a Triumph. This is a 4-cycle machine, as you can tell. It's got horsepower. Turned himself at 8.791. If you're in the 8-second bracket this early in the climb, it's a good one. Here comes Ernie Pellin. Ernie out of North Jackson, Ohio, turned at 8.895 on a Honda. We're here in the pits with Ted Wilkins, right? Am I pronouncing that right,
That's
Ted?
right, Ted
Okay.
Wilkins.
Okay, Ted, where's hometown, right?
Kinmount, Ontario.
Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
And you've got a strange motorcycle for hill climbing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Now, you've done something entirely different from the sport. Now, how about showing the fans what actually it is that you've done?
What I've done, well, there's motorcycle wheels on it and a motorcycle seat and handlebars, but we built the frame and used a snowmobile engine and snowmobile clutches. It's a Rotax engine, 21 cc's, and it's Polaris clutches, and so it has a variable speed. It engages at 7,000 RPM, so you sit on the line, you just idle, and when you're ready to go, you just hit 7,000 RPM, and you're gone.
Wow, it's off like a rocket, right? But it never changes sound all the way up.
Well, once it reaches 10,000 RPM, that's when it starts to shift. It senses the torque on the back wheel, it senses the traction and the steepness of the hill, and the more gear it can dump into the rear wheel, it'll just keep dumping more gear. So it stays at 10,000 RPM.
20's First National in September the 27th, White Rose over Jefferson, Pennsylvania. And here he comes out of the hole. Straight up the middle and over the top. He's in a 7-second bracket with a 7.737. Now we're going to do this in slow motion, just to show you how true and straight he ran the hill. He's in the air over that first step in the staircase. Notice the straw, that's to soak the mud up. You can see him trying to get a bite there on the hill. He's got the front end off the ground. Straight as an arrow, right over the top. Ted loaded the bike up, and that was it. They chased him the rest of the afternoon. This is Scott Everett. Scott's a past champion. He's got troubles. And it dumped him. He ran off the track at 160 feet. That hill was muddy and it was heavy. The rear chains get tremendous bites and it's hard to control. See him coming down crooked? He's pointing off towards Shivadeckers. He's off the course right there. Now he's really getting into trouble. Trying to fight it back. Going the other way, but the mud just doesn't bite, and then all of a sudden he's off the bike. These boys pick up a lot of bruises. A few broken bones, but they eat their dinner off the mantle more than once during the season. Now this is Alan Hoskins out of Georgetown, Illinois. Alan's running strong. He's got a good climb going. He turned an 8.427. Across the valley, the crowd's still building. They're still coming in, even though we're early in the climb. The sun came out and brought them in. Now this is Don Pinsonot. Don also got into the 8-second bracket. If you can keep it straight, you got a good climb going. Don turned an 8.8 double-aught for good for 11th place. This is a relative newcomer. This is Aaron Brown from New Richmond, Indiana. Aaron's kind of new at the sport, but he's giving her a good shot. Got a good piece of equipment. Turned a 9.454 for 8. Now this is Paul Pinsonot out of Ludlow, Massachusetts, aboard a Honda. You're going to see the third place ride right here. Taking an 8.021 for Paul. This is Roger McNeely. He's out on his second try. Roger's second climb time was slower. Turned to 9.471. Now this is the third Everett. This is Mike Everett, the younger of the two brothers. Mike aboard a Triumph. That was a pretty hard jump right there, but Mike turned to 9.375. Now we have another Pensionaut. This is John Pensionaut. John coming out of the hole. He's got the front end up real nice. Looking good. Turned to 9.894. Sitting against the log now is Steve Dresser out of Arkport, New York, riding a Suzuki. Got that dude humming. 2-cycle, goes over the top in 8.316. That was good for 5th place. Crowd really enjoying the climb. Okay, here we have Alan Hoskins again. Alan's coming off the right side of the hill. Looking good. Turned an 8.427, which really got him 6th place. Now this is Tom Chatterton. Tom's a veteran, but he's past winner on the Devil's Staircase. It doesn't intimidate him, as you can tell from the way he attacks the hill. On the throttle. A real good climb. Had a 7.969. Next man on the hill was Mike DeBusk. Mike's a newcomer. Not a bit afraid of the hill, though. He's hard at it, too. Taking that first step in the staircase on the fly. Mike got an 8.965, which got him 16th place. Now this is our old friend out of Columbus, Randy Gabriel. Randy's a veteran, and he really goes after it. Look at the horsepower. Throw that rooster tail clear back over the fans. Riding a Harley Davidson, good for 7.991. Next man on the hill is going to be the guy going for the championship. He's leading the point standings, riding a Harley Davidson, which he built himself. This is Tommy Reiser. Tommy won in 1964. Still at it, still a champ. That was good for 7.760. Now he can get better. This is Tommy Zink. Tom's been around. Tom knows his way up and down these hills. About lost it there, but he got her back. 8.416 for Tommy. Out of Baltimore, Maryland, riding Lou Gerentz's Harley. This is Harry Schreiber. Harry's in the point standings. And he could not hold it. Now, when a veteran like Harry Schreiber, you can tell that the hill is in bad shape as far as getting good traction. That had to be embarrassing for Harry, but it happens to the best of them. Harry first ran off the track at 150 foot. Now he's got to go back and face the boss and explain to him what happened. Against the log now is David Overholzer out of Elkhart, Indiana on a Kawasaki. David's got his hands full of problems. Got her over the top. This is another Harley rider out of Springfield, Massachusetts. This is Bob Castledine. Watch him attack the hill. This is going to be his best of the 2 attempts. 7.459. He'll take home 3rd place money with that climb. Now this is John Williams. This is the father of Wade and Greg. John's 5-time national champion and many-time Canadian national champion. And if you notice when he went over the hill, he jumped the clock. That's the last time you'll see John ride today. Now this is Jack Yett Sr. Jack's some problems there. Zips. Jack came down from a pretty good height there. You'll notice when he got up to walk up to pick up the bike, one foot didn't work too well. He fractured an ankle. They had to do a removal on Jack, but Jack's okay. He'll be back next year. Here comes Lou Gerentzer Sr., losing a chance for the championship. Got him an 8.058. 3-time national champion. Lou Gerentzer is a Harley dealer up in Elkhart, Indiana, and he's really been a strong supporter. His boys even run. Here comes Steve Crowder out of Fowlersville, Michigan. That's as close as you'll ever want to see a rider come to having a spill and being able to save it. Tremendous job by Steve. Now, here comes Lou Gehringer Jr., last year's champion. Riding another one of the powerful Gehringer Harley-Davidsons. Attacking the hill, got a 7.711, but another veteran, number 3, Jeff Yoder out of Goshen, Indiana. Riding a very, very powerful Harley-Davidson. Just barely missed getting in the 7-second bracket with an 8.058, and that got him 10th place. Now this is David Overhoser coming out of the hole. Dave's attacking the hill. Really squirrely, but he's got it under control. He turns an 8.690 for 15th place. Next man on the hill will be Wade Williams. Wade's in 2nd place. He's on his own bike now. This is his own machine this time around. Turned a 7.835 for 6th place so far.
We're here in the pits with Tim Frazier. Tim, you lead the hunt in the 500 class again this year?
Yeah, we came in here with a 13-point lead, so we're set pretty good. We got to have a good ride day to sew it up.
Now, you still riding Earl Bowlby's bike?
Well, it's my bike. I race out of his shop.
Okay.
So it works out pretty good.
Yeah, you just had it fired up here. It sounds pretty good. It sounds like it's pretty healthy.
Well, the one we just fired was a brand new one. That's the second time it's ever been started. We're going to ride the one we always ride, the first ride, then we'll ride the new one the second ride and see how it's going to run.
We've had a lot of rain down here. Tim, you think this mud's going to hurt you any?
Nah, usually when we come here, it's usually pretty moist on the first ride, and then by the second one it dries up pretty good. So it don't make no difference if it's muddy or it's dry.
That's Timmy Frazier, 210 foot on his first climb. And boy, the pressure's on. He's got to do it. Championship at risk. He's up the right-hand side of the hill, and he's going strong. And he's over. He got an 8.129. That's good enough for 4th place. Against the log now, this is Roger McNeely. Roger on his 2nd attempt at the hill. Spending a lot of time up in the air. He turned a 9.471. That was slower than his first climb time. Next man out was David Duncan. We're on the 2nd round of 500 action. These guys are really trying to improve that first round of time. David turned a 9.942. Take home 16th place. Now this is Ernie Pellin. Ernie's a good one. Notice he's really throwing a rooster tail out there. Ernie turned an 8.871 on that time. That's good for 12th place. Now we're back to Bill Apicella. Off the throttle quite a bit, trying to maintain that traction. He's having problems. Can only get a 9.300. Bill ended up in 14th place. We're back to Ralph Krieger now. Ralph's out of shape. Boy, he's careful. Referee ruled he didn't go out of bounds, so he's still on it. Turned an 8.871, took home 12th place money. This is Scotty Everett. Scotty's really loose, but he's flying. Scotty turned a 7.937, took home 2nd place money. Now this is Scott McNeely. Scott's coming right up the middle of the hill. Running straight as an arrow, looking good. Scott turned an 8.683, took home 9th place money. This is Aaron Brown making his 2nd try at the hill. Aaron got a lot of an education today at this hill climb. Aaron turned 11.797 on that climb. This is 2nd place man, Paul Pinsonat. This is a guy that's chasing Timmy Frazier. He turned an 8.021 on his first climb. And he's consistent, but it's slower, 8.060. Took home 3rd place money, and Paul Pinsonat ended up 2nd in the final standings. Here comes Mike Everett again. Mike improves with every shot at the hill. Turned an 8.945. That was quicker. He turned 13th place in the standings. Now we have John Hislop. John still got a bad miss in that engine. Good enough for 9.326. That took home 15th place money. This is Steve Dresser coming at you. Steve trying to better an 8.316. And he didn't do it. He turned an 8.677, but he still got 5th place money. Now here's a four-cycle Triumph. It's a twin. This is Scotty Everett. Scotty's won down here, so he can do the job. And he turns a 7.937. That's going to be good for 2nd place in the day's competition. Alan Hoskins coming at you. Boy, what a bounce that was. Alan turned an 8.427. That's good for 6th place. Now we're going to go into the 800 class on the 2nd round. This is Bruce Ramsey out of Fairmont, West Virginia. Ooh, what a jolt. Now we have the younger of the X. This is Jack. Jack attacking the hill. This is his first time ever down to this Devil's Staircase, and he's really taken a good lesson home with him. Jack turned a 12.220. Now here's the old veteran Tom Chatterton. Tommy eases over that first step in the staircase, but boy, when he gets on the gas, he gets on it, and away he goes. Over the top in 7.887. Now he's going to take home 8th place money. Here comes Randy Gabriel. Randy turned an 8.118 on his first climb. Boy, he's flying. And he's quicker, 7.981. That's going to be good for 9th place. Here comes your Tommy Reiser. 28 years later, he's going to try it again for the championship. And he's over, 7.451. It's going to be good enough for 2nd place, and he's going to take the championship. This is Tommy Zink. Tommy can do the job. Goes up the staircase in 8.8125. Good enough for 11th place. Next man due up on the hill will be Harry Schreiber. Harry ran off the hill on his first climb. He's got to keep it straight now if he wants to take any money home. Looking good. Right up the middle of the hill, he turned a 7.780. That's good for 5th place money and 4th in the final standings. Williams on his dad's bike. His bike broke, so he took over Dad's. And it's a little bit slower than his first climb time. He turned 7.835. So he's going to take home 6th place money. He's going to finish 3rd in the standings. This is Dave Overholzer blasting up the hill. Dave's getting quicker. He turned an 8.654. Took home 14th place money. And just to show you, even pros have trouble. Look at Lou Gerenser Jr. Had a malfunction in the engine room somewhere. Bike petered out on it at about 110 foot. That is a rarity to see one of the Gerenser machines quit. Even the crowd can't believe what they're seeing. Next man due up on a hill will be the veteran Charlie Casey. Charlie turned 8.313 on his first climb. Boy, that bounce took some time off of him. He's having trouble on the hills. And he's slower. It's an 8.496. So his first climb of 8.313 is this good time, 13th. Out of Glen Rock, Pennsylvania, this is Rodney Smith. Watch this. Oop! See that? That's the 2nd time in 2 years that we've had an engine disintegrate. And I mean, you could see the pieces fly everywhere. Later on in the afternoon, when they stacked them up on the table in the timer stand, it's hard to believe that sucker really come apart like that. Just no pieces in there bigger than a quarter. Last year we had another machine do the same thing. Just When those nitro burning things come apart, they really blow off. Back to the climb here. Now this is Jeff Yoder. Jeff Yoder is a veteran of professional hill climbing. Boy, look at him. He knows when to get off the throttle, didn't he? Knows when to get on it, too. And he turned a 7.875. That's going to take home 7th place money. Now this is Greg Williams. He's riding his brother's bike. He's riding Wade's bike. His broke, and he's trying to win the championship. And he's got the time, 7.355. That's going to take home 1st place money, but he's ended up 2nd in the championship. This is Bob Castledine. Went off out of bounds at 140 feet.
500 champion for the year, Tim Frazier.
Go, 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 go.
Congratulations, Tim.
Thank you.
Here, you want to give him this one? 750, 1992 Hill Climb champion for the season, Tom Reiser.
Smile, here's the ears.
All right.
Yeah, for next one, give me a shot of blue to it.
Come on, Tim. Last old part I hit him, Joe Hemmish. You know how old he was?
Well, that brings down the curtain on another great hill climbing season. Thanks to Dayton Motorcycle Club, the Hill Climbers, and Bob Moore for another great year. Well, that's all we have time for this month. Remember, there will be a new show next month. In the meantime, don't miss out. Join the over 8 million riders who enjoy the world of motorcycling. See you next time.